Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And alhamdulillah. Wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Wa man tabiyahum bi ihsani ila yawmiddin wa ba'd. Okay, alhamdulillah. We're here at week 6, and covering our text, the Aqidatul Awwam, which is translated as a theology of the common folk, or the belief of the layman, or the creed of the masses. And so it's covering what is necessary upon the one who is mukallaf, or the one who is reaches the stage of taklif, to know this information that we're presenting here. The author of the book is Imam Ahmed al-Marzuki, who was born in Egypt and ended up residing in Medina, alhamdulillah. So far we've covered the first 10 lines, and we'll resume the book today. But before we go back into a few more lines, we want to review from last week, inshallah. So anyone remember the assignment from last week?
The what?
The assignment, what I was expecting you to have for this week.
You wanted us to learn the 20 attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to work on its opposites, the impossible. But you said to mainly focus on the attributes.
Okay, is anybody ready for them?
No, I wasn't here last class, so I'll just be listening.
Okay. All right, so we covered the 20 necessary attributes.
I'll try if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm doing it in order. Al-Wujud.
Okay. And so I will also try to do the categories as well.
Can I do the names first and then do the categories?
Well, you could do it as you go along if you're going in order.
Okay. All right. Al-Wujud is in the classification of Sifat al-Nafsiyah, which is the self-signifying attribute. Now you got my brain working hard.
As it should be.
It's early. Okay. Al-Qidam.
Okay, you want to just do them and do the opposites afterwards, or do them at the same time?
I don't know all the opposites. I can only name a few. I got the attributes down. I got all them down, but I'm working on learning all the opposites. I know a few.
Okay, all right, that's okay. All right, we'll run them down.
Okay, Al-Qidam, Al-Baqa.
What do they mean?
Al-Qidam.
Arabic.
Okay, Al-Wujud is existing. Al-Qidam, pre-existing.
Without a beginning.
Eternity, without a beginning. The Al-Awwal is the name. Al-Baqa, everlasting.
Al-Baqa.
Al-Baqa, I always get the calf messed up. Al-Baqa, everlasting. No ending. Al-Akhir. Then there's Al-Muhalafatu lil Hawadith, non-resemblance to creation. Al-Qiyam bi Nafs, self-subsisting. Al-Ghani, free, rich, not in need of anything. Al-Wahdaniya, unique, the one, unlike just the one entity. Al-Hayy, living or life without cause or means. Al-Qudra, powerful. I can't remember. I got the definition went blank. But powerful. Al-Irada.
Okay, those first. You said Al-Qidam, Al-Baqa, Al-Mukhalafa lil Hawadith, Al-Qiyamu bi Nafs, and Wahdaniya. Did you say Wahdaniya?
Yes.
Okay,
Wahdaniya.
now these 5 attributes, what are they classified as?
Sifat Salibia.
Sifat as-salbiya.
Asabia.
What does sifat as-salbiya mean?
To negate imperfections of to Allah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has no
Yes.
imperfections.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Then you said Qudra
Okay. Al Qudra, powerful. Al Irada, willing.
or will.
Will. Will. Al knowledge. Asamu, hearing.
Asamu.
Asamu, hearing. Without hearing in one moment, without any means of instruments. Basarun,
Al-Basr.
Basar, sight. Sight in one moment, the visible and invisible without use of instruments. Al Kalam, speak. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's speech is eternal, without letters or sounds.
Okay.
What is it? Al Qadri, all
All right,
powerful.
so okay, wait a minute. So now those attributes is which sifat are those?
Sifat,
From
Sifat,
Qudra. Uh-huh.
Ma'ani,
Sifat al-Ma'ani. Okay. And these
Ma'ani.
uh-huh.
Okay. Qadri, you're making my brain work hard. All powerful. Murid.
Oh no. What does Sifat al-Ma'ani mean? What does it mean?
Oh, those are the attributes of his essence.
Okay, they are the attributes of meaning or the quantitative attributes.
Of quantitative attributes.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, and what is the other meaning? We said that they the sifat al-salbiya negates imperfections for Allah, and the sifat al-ma'ani, what do they do?
They confirm his perfections.
They affirm perfection for Allah. All right. Okay, good. And now the last category is what?
Sifat Ma'nawiya.
Ma'nawiya. Okay. And what are these? What is this translated as?
These confirm like I don't know the actions of his essence. Am I saying that right? It goes with the other one, the al ma'ani.
The qualitative. So they are the active forms of the sifat al-ma'ani.
So say active forms and not confirms his actions. That's not
Yeah,
right.
they're states of being for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
States of being.
Okay.
I remember that. Duly noted.
So in other words, that if Allah is attributed with Qudra, then he is Qadir. If he's attributed with power, that means he has to be all powerful. And so forth and so on. So now let me get those last 7.
Okay. Maurice, the all willing.
Mm-hmm.
Asami, all hearing. All hearing. Al-Basir, all seeing.
You missed a couple.
I know I'm not going to order. I'm going in order of my brain because I'm not looking at my notes. So I got my notebook.
Go.
Stop throwing me off, man.
Okay, I don't know what's going on.
I'm actually doing it by memory, inshallah.
Good.
Al Mutakalim, the all speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Al Hayy, all living. I'm missing one. Hold on. I'm missing one. My brain just went blank.
Alim. I help you out.
Alim, the knowledge. Yeah, I was going in. I was trying to go in order of the other ones. The Alim, the all knowing.
Okay, good, good. All right, so is this clear to everybody so far when we talk about these attributes?
Yes.
Got me sweating over here.
Yeah, sister, sister Saudia, that how you pronounce your name, Saudia?
Soraya.
Soraya, I'm sorry. How is this for you? Are you following along pretty well?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay. All right, so we covered just now the 20 necessary attributes for Allah. And when we say necessary attributes, we don't mean that we don't acknowledge any other attribute for Allah, but these attributes are the ones that make Allah who He is within His essence. All right, so they are that He is al-wujud, that He exists, and that he's attributed with kidam, ever beginning, pre-eternal, without a beginning. He's attributed with al-baqa, everlastingness or enduring without an end. He is attributed with al-mukhalafa lil-hawadith, which means that he is dissimilar from anything that occurs or comes into being. He is attributed with qiyam al-qiyam bi nafs, that he is self-subsistent. He is attributed with al-wahdaniyah. He is attributed al-wahdaniyah. Al-wahdaniyah is complete oneness. And so these five necessary attributes, al-kidam, al-baqa, al-mukhalafa lil-hawadith, al-qiyam bi-nafs, and al-wahdaniyah, these five attributes are known as sifat al-salbiyah, which means that they are the attributes that affirm for or negate for Allah any imperfection. All right. The first one we mentioned, al-wujud, is sifat al-nafsiyah. It is the sifat of nafs or by itself, because without Allah existing, then all of the other attributes wouldn't, he has to exist first before anything. All right. And so then the next set of attributes are called sifat al-ma'ani, or the quantitative attributes, that the attributes that give Allah meaning and they affirm perfection for Him. So he is attributed with al-qudra, which is power. He is attributed with al-irada. He is attributed with having divine will. He is attributed with ilm, or having complete and perfect knowledge. He is attributed with al-haya, which means that he has life. He is attributed with samu, hearing. He is attributed with basar, sight, and he is attributed with al-kalam, which is speech. And so these are the attributes that negate, affirm perfection for Allah. And then we have the sifat al-ma'nawiyah, which are the qualitative attributes that they perfect Allah's states of being, or they perfect they are the active forms of the sifat al-ma'ani. And so they are qadirun, muridun, alimun. Man, you got me thinking too. Qadirun, muridun, alimun, sami'un, basirun, mutakalimun, and I'm missing one. Hayyun. Okay, hayyun. I'm sorry. All right, so they are, so in other words, that if Allah is attributed with al-qudra, that means he is qadir. If he is attributed with power, then he has to be powerful, like actively powerful. So if he's attributed with irada, then he has to be actively murid, willing, and so forth and so on. All right, and so these are the 20 necessary attributes that one must know. And who is the one who must know these attributes? Is it every single Muslim?
Yes.
Every single Muslim?
Is
What
it?
about it? Huh?
Is it? I feel like I'm gonna get a wrong word, but color.
Mukallaf,
Oh,
yes. Every single Muslim who is mukallaf. What does mukallaf mean?
um, they have already gone through puberty and they're um yeah, that's
Okay, so mukallaf is the
The
one
stage of
the one who
accountability.
becomes responsible. All right, and when that person becomes responsible is what you said, Sister Surya. Saria, I'm sorry, how did I say it again?
Soraya, just
Soraya. Okay, all right. It
speaking of,
rhymes with Mariah. All
speaking
right,
of
Soraya.
music, just think about the Harry and the old song.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Sister Soraya. So Mukallaf is one who becomes responsible, and they come responsible for male and females. For females is when, as you said, when they reach puberty, or when they hit. For them, is one sign is when they hit their menses, and for males, it is 3 ways. What are those 3 ways?
Is it like that? The first, uh, like liquid. I don't know which.
No- Nocturnal emission,
Yes.
or when they have a wet dream.
Yeah, and that's I forgot the other two.
The other one is when pubic hairs, or the age of 15. Whichever one of those come on the male first, then he becomes mukallaf. And then on the female is when they hit their menses. So mukallaf, the age of responsibility, once they reach that, and then in addition to that, they also have to have four other qualities for this knowledge to become wajib on them, or necessary for them to know. What are they?
They have to be sane. They have to have a sound mind. They have to have the message of Islam should have had to been received by them. They have to get the message of Islam.
Okay, that's 2. Yeah, I said 4. Hello?
Oh, I'm still here. I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah,
I was trying to get somebody else to answer.
Okay.
I'm trying to look through my notes. I'm cheating with these two.
Okay, well that's cool. So at first they have to be Muslim, all right? Then they have to have they have to be akil, they have to be intelligent, and then they have to have sound senses, right? Hawas asalam, the sound senses, and then they also have to have the proper message of Islam has reached them. And so once they have the signs of puberty and these 4 conditions are in, then this knowledge is necessary for them to know for themselves. And this knowledge is called fard ayn. What is fard ayn?
Individual obligation.
Yes. So every person who reaches the stage of taklif or becomes mukallaf, then it is an individual obligation on them to know it for themselves, and to know it in detail, and know and digest what it means. And so when a person becomes mukallaf, they have to know these 20 necessary attributes and their opposites. So did you all cover the opposites?
I looked at them. We covered them. I kind of looked at them. I know maybe a couple of them. I don't know all of them.
Okay, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have to need to know them because we're going to go back to the text today. So, for instance, for Allah's necessary attributes of al-wujud, the opposite is al-adam, meaning non-existence. That is impossible for Allah to have non-existence. All right. Allah has a necessary attribute of al-qidam, that He has pre-eternal existence, and the opposite of that would be man, I gotta know it myself. I gotta look at my notes. Hold on.
Hudus.
Huduf, right. Huduf means we use the word contingency, or something that is originated, something that came from something that was previously non-existence and it came into existence. That's what huduf means. And so Allah, it is impossible for Allah to have huduf. All right. The third one is al-baqa, which is everlasting or enduring without an end. And the opposite is fana, or expiration or annihilation. That Allah, it is impossible for Allah to come to an end. All right. Then the next one is mukhalafa lil hawadith, is similarity. The opposite of it is mumathala, that resemblance. that it's impossible for Allah to resemble the creation. All right, so we're going to need to go over these, inshallah ta'ala. All right, and so for al-qiyam bi nafs is self-subsistence. That it is impossible for Allah. The opposite is ihtiyaj, or dependence. All right, and so forth and so on. All right, so we only need to go over those. You all need a list of those.
No, I have them. You gave it to us last week, so I wrote them
So
all
in the
down. I
next couple of weeks,
studying.
we're just going to have to study that, and then we'll take a week to go over all of them, and then we'll probably have a test, because I'm thinking now, I don't know if I'll be able to do the class during Ramadan. I'll let you know when we get like a week before, because I'm trying to get my schedule, because things I'm trying to do at the masjid. So we'll see. All right, but before Ramadan, we'll definitely have a test on the first section, inshallah ta'ala.
That would include the impossibles as well.
Yes, but
Okay.
before we have the test, I'll go over them for you, and I'll get it down. So, Sister Soraya, were you able to cover any of the information? Were you here? You weren't here last week, but were you here the week before?
I think I missed 2 weeks straight, because I know last week, I forgot what happened last week. And then the week before, I know 2 weeks in a row something was happening with the kids or something. I can't remember. But so I missed the last two. I did miss the last 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay, we'll come back to it, but I want to get into this text today, inshallah. Let me just get that.
But I am looking at the videos, so I'll by next week, inshallah, I'll be up to par, inshallah.
Okay, so I'll put together a list of these attributes, because going forward, it's going to be imperative for you all to know. All right. So on the last week, I did a whole of the Sifat al-Nafsiyya, Sifat al-Salbiyya, Sifat al-Ma'ani, and Sifat al-Ma'nawiyya, and we also did the opposites. So we'll go over them again, but I want to get into the text today. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start at line 11. Give me a second. Let me get it ready. Okay, let me get it ready. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, can you all see that?
Yes.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. All right, so let me get on there. So this is line 11. And so we go back to the text. All right, so now he says in the text, Arsala anbiya dawi fatana the siddiqi wa tabliki wal amana. And so the translation of that is that he sent forth the prophets, men of discerning and intelligence, truthful men, trustworthy and upright, and who delivered the message. Okay. So now we get into this part of the text. We covered the part about Aqidah and about Allah and his necessary attributes, which are 20 of them, and then there are 20 of them that are opposite. All right. All right, so now we're going to start the section. So when we talk about Allah, remember those 3 categories we mentioned when we talk about belief. It's going to be three categories we mentioned. So everything that's related to Godhood. What is the Arabic word for that?
Wajib.
No.
So you said the categories, right?
Yeah. So this is 3. I know it's about 3 categories, but when we talk about Allah, the messengers, and then other things that's related to belief, there are 3 words I'm looking for. So everything that's related to Godhood is called what?
Al-Iyah, Al-Ihayat,
Ilahiyat.
Ilahiyat.
Yes.
Okay.
So ilahiyat is everything related to godhood, right? So everything that relates to Allah and what we need to know about him. And so now we're getting into the section of the next one, which is called Nubuwat. So what is Nubuwat?
Beliefs about the prophets.
Yeah, everything related to prophethood. So what we need to know about him. So this is the next section that we're covering. All right. All right. So next one, and now we have necessary attributes for Allah. Then we also have necessary attributes for the prophets. All right. And so they are four. All right. So the first one is that they are attributed with intelligence. Here in the book, he used fatana, or we can use akal. That for a prophet to be a prophet, the first attribute that they have to have is intelligence, or complete intelligence, and able to articulate with proof. All right. So they have to know what they're talking about when they're conveying the message. Right. And they have to be people who are discerning. All right. And so one of the glaring examples is that we use is from Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he confronted his father about the idol worship. And you all know this in Surah Anbiya. When they left the town, and Ibrahim, Allah describes him as one who was Rashid, one who was know the right path, and that when he was a boy. And so you read in the surah that when they left the town, he came and he destroyed their idols. And when they came back, they said, you know, who did this? Who did this to our gods? And so they said, ask the boy. So when they came to Ibrahim, alayhi salam, they asked him, did you do this? And so Ibrahim broke all of the idols, and then he left the biggest one. He said, ask the biggest one. You know, if you want to know what's going on, ask the biggest one. He'll tell you. And so then they thought about it. Uh, you know, they can't talk. You know, they can't respond. And so Ibrahim, you used intelligence, he used akal. Why do you worship them then? You know, so that's an example, or one example of the prophets having intelligence, that they have to have. It's necessary for them to have intelligence or akal. He used the word fatana, akal, they're interchangeable. So either one or the other, right? The second necessary attributes for the prophets is truthfulness, or sidq, or that they're saying is in accordance with the truth. It is not deceptive. All right. So they have to have akal, they have to have sidq, or truthfulness, that they, that they don't lie, and they're believable. They don't have anything that make you doubt them. Right. The next attribute is conveying the message, tabligh, or teaching the people the Sharia to guide them to happiness. Teaching them, the people, the Sharia to guide them to happiness. All right. So in giving the message and doing tabligh, that means it has to be presentable. It has to be good news. It can't be something that will turn people away. All right. So when we're teaching Islam and we're giving da'wah, so another synonym for tabligh is da'wah. All right. And so for the prophets, that when they're conveying the message, they're giving people the good news about salvation and following the laws and believing in God Almighty. All right. And then the last one is trustworthiness. I put trustworthiness, or amana, or being an upright and proper person, someone you can count on, and someone that they don't do sins and dislike actions. So someone who is what's the word I'm looking for? Someone who is reputable. Someone who is reputable when they convey the message. All right. So these are the necessary attributes for all of the Anbiya. That they have to have intelligence, they have to have truthfulness, and they have to convey the message, and they have to be trustworthy. All right. Any questions on
One
that?
second.
Let me know. I go to the next slide.
And I don't know if this is included, but would that would truthfulness go along with like they've never committed a sin or
Yes, that's going to be on the next line in the
oh,
book.
oh
Yeah. Okay, let me know when I go to the next slide.
1 second. 1 second. I'm almost done.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Zenzele. Zenzele.
Wa alaikum salam.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, Zunzele.
Zenzele. Okay, alhamdulillah.
My
Okay, I'm ready.
apologies for coming in late.
Okay. All right. I can go to the next slide?
Yeah.
All right. So here we have 4 necessary attributes. All right. Akal, Sidq, Tabligh, and Amana. All right. So line number 12 in the book, the author says, وَجَائِزٌ فِي الْحَقِّهِمْ مِنْ عَرَضِ let's say, بِغَيْرِ تَقْسٍ تَخَفِّي فِي الْمَرْضِ. He says, and it is possible for them to suffer afflictions such as illnesses that are not abhorrent and or repugnant. All right, so they have sicknesses that are not abhorrent and repugnant. All right. And so the explanation of this is that they are presentable. All right. And so here it means that they don't have afflictions, that they have afflictions that do not lower their status or will make you turn away from receiving the message. So for instance, having leprosy or handicap or any kind of human defect that will make someone not listen to them, you know. And here we have these, so these stories about, you hear about Prophet Shu'aib, Prophet Yaqub, which is Jacob, and Prophet Ayub, or the Prophet Job. May Allah have peace on all of them. We don't accept those narrations, for instance, where they say Prophet Ayub had worms and insects coming out of his face, because then that would mean that he would not be able to convey the message, because who would listen to someone, if someone was giving you a message and they had worms and insects coming out of their face, you won't accept the message, right? Or if someone who is handicapped or has some type of deficiency that will make you look at them sideways, none of the prophets are attributed with these attributes. So those stories that are biblical stories about Prophet Yaqub being blind or Prophet Shu'aib, I think the accusation was against his family, that he didn't come from a notable family or something like that. All right, so that's the meaning of line 12, that they have the ability to have afflictions, like, so they can have sicknesses or things like that, like that happens to the prophets, but nothing that will make you turn away from the message.
Question.
Go ahead.
So, in regards to the story of Ayub alayhi salam, wasn't he really sick though? But it's just not the extreme with the
Yeah, he had
worms
some
and stuff.
sicknesses and some
Okay.
trials, but it wasn't like what how they describe it in the Bible. And so we're going to cover some of this, because in the next section, not today, but it's going to cover the prophets. All right.
Okay.
The prophets.
I got a quick question too.
Okay.
Usually in the morning, I have the children listen to like the prophet stories for children.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to Prophet Yunus alayhi salam, and it got to the part where he when the whale spit him out, and they said, because like the narrator was saying, because of like the stomach acid and things of the whale, when he got spit out, when the sun touched his skin, it like caused his skin to be burnt, or like some type of burning of his skin. So is that part accurate? And
Yeah, I mean, that could be considered like an ailment or sickness, but was it to the point where he was like it was something repugnant?
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the issue there. Was it something repugnant?
Gotcha.
Where's that story from?
It's so the series is from Ibn Kathir.
Mhm.
So it's just like the father and a little boy, and the father is telling him the stories of the different prophets. So I can send you the link to make sure I'm like letting them listen to accurate.
No, it's good. I mean, because that's what we're talking about, that they do have afflictions like we do, but they won't be something that would be repugnant like you. You'd be like, oh no, I can't listen to this person. Look, they sickly and stuff like that. So that's what it's referring to here. Like they don't have these afflictions that'll make them sickly. So it could be possible that with Prophet Yunus alayhi salam, got when he got spat out and his skin was burnt, but it might have not been burnt like a deficiency that would prevent his message.
Okay, gotcha.
And Allah knows best. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody got this here?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, the next slide is line 13. And so here the author says about the prophets, about the Anbiya, Ismatuhum kasa'ir al-malaika wajibatun wa fadalu malaika, that they are divinely protected from sin, similar to angels, and they are superior to angels. They are superior to angels. And so let's cover that, inshallah. So here, the author means that they are protected. So another term is isma. All right. So this is what you was, Sister Soraya, about protection from sins. Did someone raise their hand or message? Okay. What's new to you, sis?
That they were higher than angels.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to explain it right now. Okay. So here you have it, meaning higher than angels, that they have a protection, they have a rank over the angels because exercising the ability to obey while having a free will is better than being compelled to obey. So in other words, the angels, they don't have the ability to disobey, right? So that's a given. So now being a prophet and then having the ability with free will to disobey or to do something and still, have these attributes that are necessary for them, then they have a rank over uh, the angels, right? And so this is why with the angels, they pray for the prophets, and we covered this in first part of the class about that the angels, they make dua for the prophet. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Allah and his angels send blessings and prayers upon the prophet. All right. So the angels are making dua for the prophets because of their rank. And so if you make the connection, and Surah Baqarah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he was going to create a Khalifa and put him in the earth, and the angels ask, you want to put one who who shed blood and causes mischief. So they already knew about them, but then Allah says, I know what you know not. And so there's a connection to that the Adam and the prophets and the son of Adam is going to have a rank above the angels, when they have the ability to have this isma. So the prophets, they have it automatically. They have protection and they have preservation, hifz. All right. And so when the humans actually do it, we have a concept that a person is like an angel or angelic in their behavior. We say this because when a person stays from sin and doing good deeds, then they have a nature about them that is angelic, but it doesn't mean automatically that we have it, So for us, it's earned, and for the prophets, they have a rank that's given to them by way of them being prophets. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because just imagine, it would be easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to create us and have us do everything that the angels do. You just do what you're supposed to do, and that's it. It's like it's easy to obey Allah when you don't have any tests. It's easy to do right when there's no wrong present. But the ability to stay away from sins and stay away from wrongdoing and all of these things that we are subjected to, when it's easy to do it and to stay away from it, that has some type of that has a rank, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why the one who avoids sins and wrongdoing and all of those things, they are rewarded, and then the ones who fall into it, they have the option for forgiveness. Okay. So this doesn't mean in general, like for the son of Adam, they have to earn this rank. And of course they'll fall from it, at some point or another. But the prophets, they are isma, and we believe that the prophets are ma'soom, that they are sinless, right? They are infallible, right?
You
That
said
means
Masoom. Spell that for me.
ma'soom is MA' SOOM or SUM, ma'soom. So it
And
comes
that
from this
means
word isma. That means they have protection, divine, and they are infallible.
Masoom means they don't without sin, right?
Yeah, they're infallible. And so the sins, what would be considered sins of the prophets would be kind of like we would say mistakes, but not like sins where it's some wrongdoing. For instance, many scholars explain this, like when in Surah Abasa, where it says Abasa wa tawalla, where the Prophet ﷺ, when he frowned and he turned away from a man who was coming to ask him a question, and he was preoccupied with someone else. And so the prophets, the Anbiya, their so-called mistakes, they're corrected by revelation.
I remember one of the Sheikh Yahya, we were going over some of this stuff that you're going over now. He was talking about how people say that Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he told the lies that he told in regards to the idols, and then with Sarah, radiallahu anha, when he said that was his sister, they said that they was a lie, but he was saying technically it wasn't a lie in regards to Sarah, because it was more so like she's his sister in Islam. You know what I'm saying? Even
Right.
though she's his wife.
Yeah, in our terms, we would call it a white lie, I guess, right? And so there's
Yeah.
another narration. I think it's I can't remember right now. But yes, so there technically wasn't a lie, but it was just to redirect using intelligence, which is their necessary attribute to avoid danger, but without compromising any of their attribute. So he did, because the opposites of their necessary attributes are the same as Allah. They're impossible, so they can't be attributed with lying. So in a situation like that, it couldn't have been a lie, because it's impossible for prophets to lie.
Right, and then Prophet Muhammad, isn't there a hadith? I was reading about a hadith that said, he said it's it's okay to lie in three reasons, like in the case of jihad, the war, if you're like to your husband, a wife and a husband, if they say, oh, do I look fat or something like that, that's one of that's okay to lie during that time, and then like
Yeah,
to reconcile a brother and a sister, a brother and a brother, a sister and a sister who are having differences, to try to get them to come together. That's kind of a
yeah.
little bit different, right? It's not really.
No, that's about the same, because well, for the prophets it wouldn't be lying, but in those cases it actually wouldn't be lying, but it was like, let's see how we say it in English, that you're leaving out parts of the truth, or you're leaving out something. And so for the prophets, when they convey the message, one of the attributes is they can't leave out the message. So for instance, if you have two brothers who are beefing, and you might say, or a sister, you take a gift and you be like, oh yeah, what's the name told me to get this to you, the one that's beefing with you. But she didn't tell you to give it to her, but because you have the intention to make islah between them, this is permissible.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
this is in
Yes.
respect to those situations, war, saying good things to a husband, saying it to his wife, to not which is not a total lie, How does this dress look on me, honey? Oh, you look great. You know, the dress might not be as great, and you know, the wife might not look as great as she thought she would be. You know, but just to say, okay, even if you didn't think it looked great, you know. So in other words, don't always say the raw truth. You know, don't all the raw truth is
Gotcha.
not always. And you know, some people just say, well, it's the truth. Sometimes it's not. It's better not to say it, not the raw truth. You know, and of course in war. All right. But what respects to the prophets, you know, they yeah, it's very few situations where they use these so-called white lies. I don't like the term white lies, but in English we don't have anything the equivalent to kind of express it. I don't know if that answered the question or not, but
Yes, yes. Thank you. Shukran.
okay. All right, any other questions or? So at this point, we should remember here is that the rank of the prophets is over the angels because of being prophets, and then humans have a degree of rank over them, not that it's automatic. You know, it is a degree of rank over the angels when they are in line with, you know, the Islamic law and, you know, observing it. All right, can I go to the next slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the next slide is line 14. And so here we have, the author says, والمستحيل ضد كل واجب فاحفظ بخمسين بحكم واجب. He said, and everything opposed to the necessary attributes is impossible. And remember the 50 attributes by the command of Allah. So I'm pretty sure the first thing that comes to your mind, I thought it was 20 necessary attributes. Is that what came to your mind or no?
I thought that because now you said as you told us 20, but now it's saying 50 right here. Like, don't be
Well, not
confusing me
not
now.
me. We talking the author. I ain't say nothing. No, but let's go to the next line. So what he means here. So here he means the 50 necessary attributes. All right. And so they're what we already talked about. So for Allah, there are 20 necessary attributes and their opposites. All right. And so we kind of covered them already. For the prophets, it's 4 necessary attributes and their opposites. I was supposed to put them in this slide. So the first attribute of the prophets is akal or fatana. All right. And so they have to be intelligent, right? And then the opposite of that is that they can't be kadhib. They can't be lying. They can't be lying, right? The second one is the second attribute for the prophets that's necessary is what do we say? You got me.
These are the impossible ones, right? Or the possible
Yeah,
ones.
the opposites are, remember the line, the blank of them are inconceivable and the blank of them are impossible. So the same thing for Allah who's a panel with the Allah is the same thing for the prophets.
The absence is
Yeah,
inconceivable.
yeah. So the first attribute for the prophets is we said
Al-Fatan. You said Al-Fatan.
Intelligence.
yeah, intelligence. Fatana or akal, which is intelligence, and the opposite of that is lying.
Al-Khadib. What is it? Al-Khadib?
Yeah, the kadhib. The kadhib. Yeah, or kid.
Okay.
Or kadhib, or which is lying, right? The next attribute is sidq, or truthfulness, right? And the opposite of that is khiyana. We'll go over these next week, but I'm just mentioning them now. So khiyana means betrayal. So the opposite of
Wait.
truthfulness is betrayal. We're
So
gonna
wait.
yeah,
So As-Sadiq is the
Sid.
opposite.
Yeah, the
Al-Siddiq.
opposite is khiyana, which
Okay.
means betrayal.
Okay.
All right. The third attribute is tabligh, which is conveying the message. It's conveying the message, and the opposite is kitman, kitman, which means concealment.
Okay.
And then I'm sorry, let me go. I missed one. So for akal, the opposite is balada. For akal and fatana, the opposite is balada, which means to be stupid. So it's impossible for the prophets to be stupid or unintelligent.
Balada, stupid,
Yeah,
dimness.
yeah, balada. All right, and we'll cover these next week. The
Okay, so
opposite,
which one does the line goes with Al-Sadiq then, right? Or
Sid.
trustworthy?
No, Sid goes with Khiyana.
Al-Khiyana. Al-Siddiq
No, I'm
goes with,
sorry. Sid goes with Kadid. Sid goes with Kadid.
so truthfulness goes with the lying one.
Yeah,
And then the trustworthiness goes with disloyalty.
betrayal, Khiyana.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
then Tabligh goes with Kitman.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little pressed for time. I was meeting with somebody beforehand, so I didn't get a chance to put this in my uh, my slide. But we'll go over these next week. And then there's two other attributes. So that those four necessary attributes for the prophets and the opposites makes 48. And then the 49th one is for Allah, is called the possibility of doing something or leaving something. All right. The possibility of doing something or leaving something. So that with respect to Allah's actions, it is possible for him to do something or to not do something, meaning that he is not compelled to do something, or nor is he incapable of doing something, and the same thing for leaving something. All right.
What is the word in Arabic?
In Arabic, it's called fi'lun. It's called fi'lun. I didn't put it on here. What's the term? I'm sorry. It's called fi'lun. Fi'lun shay'un or tarakwa.
You know
I have it
you
next
gonna
week.
have to spell that for me now.
Yeah, I have it for you next week. All right, so it's I
Okay.
have it for you next week. And so for the prophets is the possibility of these human traits and flaws that we already mentioned, so that it's possible for them to have them, but it's not necessary. All right. And so I'll have a chart next week, the same way we did the 20 attributes and their opposites. We'll do this next week we'll go over all of them. We'll go over all of them. All right. Can I go to the next slide? I think this is the last slide for the day.
Okay.
All right.
I'm good.
I got a question. You could go to the next slide, but I got a question. So when we
Go
talk
ahead.
about, or so when we do the necessary attributes, in regards to the prophets, as how we when we do them and we do the opposites, do we still use that term? What is it?
Yes.
Why the dua? Do we still use that one?
What did do have you can. And it's opposite,
Why did
right?
duha? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
now, of course, we know Aqidah is whatever is related to Allah and related to his prophets. This is what makes up Aqidah. The Ilahiyat, everything relates to Godhood. The Nubuwat, everything that relates to prophethood. And then under that, all of these categories for what relates to Allah is the necessary attributes, which are 20 in number and their opposites. And then when it relates to the prophets, there are 4 necessary attributes and their opposites. and then 2 additional attributes, which is Allah, the possibility of him doing something or leaving something. So it's a term that's called muhal and wajib. Muhal and wajib. We'll cover that next week because we are about at the hour time. And so I have these for you. So next week we'll go over the 20 attributes. We'll go over all 50 attributes, going over them, and then after that it'll be the about the prophets. So before we get to the prophets, I want to do a test on this.
So we're gonna have to know the impossible attributes of the prophets, peace and blessings be upon them all,
Yeah,
and
we're gonna go.
the other
Yeah,
2, the 49 to 50 that you just gave us in regards to Allah
yeah,
subhanahu wa ta'ala and them as well for the
yeah,
test before we
yeah.
move
But we
on.
want to go over it next week, and then we probably gonna have the test the week after that. So
You
next week
stressing
I'll
me
give
out. Can you just go over a little bit at a time? We gotta do all of it.
yeah.
Oh
But I'm
man.
gonna give you everything you need to know in the test because really this is just it's not gonna be that difficult. Don't overthink it.
Look, you said it was gonna be multiple choice, but you also told us last week that you gonna give us the notes and then you gonna change it up on us. I remember.
Absolutely, yeah. As long as you don't forget, then we good. But no, I won't. Anything I give you in the test is something that we covered or we discussed, but it won't be nothing that you would be like, oh man, I don't know what that is, unless you just absolutely didn't study at all.
Is it an open book test?
It is not.
Oh.
It is not.
What about open phone tests?
No, it is
Say
not.
that again, sis.
I actually
I said open phone test.
open up the test. So actually, it's I got this app. This is a test taker that I'll send you the link, and you have a time limit to take the test.
Okay, not too bad. Not too bad.
Trust me,
Right.
it won't be bad. It won't be bad. It won't be bad.
So you say.
So no, because really, this first test, I'm really just going to concentrate on these attributes that we covered, so that you kind of know them. So I might be like, okay, Allah has a necessary attribute of al-kidam. What's the opposite? And then you have answers.
Okay. Well, that make it a
Well,
little bit easy. Then you
but
having us recited in class.
So next week what I want to do is go over the attributes, get you comfortable with reciting them, knowing them, and then we'll cover all 50 of them just as a review. And then I'll let you know what I'm expecting on the test. And then the next week we have the test. Then after that, we might have one more week before Ramadan starts. I'm not sure. Or maybe, and then I'll let you know if we want to continue the book or because I'm gonna be super busy during Ramadan. So on one side, I don't want to lose the momentum of the class, but on the other hand, we can always come back. But if we get this test off before Ramadan, I feel comfortable, and then we can always review in the WhatsApp group or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
But I promise you, it won't be anything like over your head. But it also won't be a walk in the park.
Oh yeah.
All
I
right,
know.
this is about learning. This is something that's necessary. If this is knowledge that we need to learn, then we really need to know it. So the goal is why I'm taking my time with this. As you notice, the translation of the book is only 33 pages. The line is only 57 lines, so it's not a text. It's a very beginner text. But when we study in Ashari Aqidah, you have to be thorough. You have to be thorough. So this is like a kindergarten class, And so when you're moving up to bigger works and you with other teachers, you will always be able to come back to the stuff. So you don't have to, because, when we're doing Ashari Aqidah, these things can get a little complex when you start dealing into them. So you have to have these things down. So I think it's important to kind of know these attributes and memorize them and be familiar with them so you have a working knowledge. So when you hear these terms in other classes as you advance, Okay, I got that. I know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right.
Will you have an extensive what I guess beginner part two, Akita class two, or will you be doing one of those? Inshallah,
No, we'll
maybe.
probably do another book. I might
Okay,
revisit. I was doing Jawharatul Tawheed, which is another beginner text. So we'll do a couple of beginner texts. And when we do these beginner texts, some of the information will overlap. You know,
gotcha.
some of them information will overlap. But as you keep going on it, then you won't feel any kind of pressure with these attributes and knowing them and memorizing them, and then eventually teaching them. You know,
Alhamdulillah.
all right. So
Me and
any
Sister Nunu got a study group for your class that we do on Wednesdays. So we trying to make sure we know all this stuff because it's important for us to learn it. Most definitely.
Absolutely. And so you would Sheikh Yahya al-Baltimore, right?
Yeah, on Thursday. It's so
Yeah,
funny because what you're teaching us and what he's going over in the book of Straight Path, it coincides together. Like
yeah.
the way
All of
he
these,
explains it,
yeah,
yeah, it's like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. All of this stuff is really the same, but this is something that we haven't got as a tradition in America, at least uh, in current times. So we had to bring this tradition back. And of course, where we at when we were default Wahhabis, all of this stuff was supposed to be like bid'ah and Greek philosophy, and we haven't used one Greek term yet, have we?
Not
No.
nope, not
Yeah,
that I
so
recognize,
yeah,
not at all.
the deception that they've done because they have been deprived of this, and I don't want to get off into a thing of talking about them, but this is what has been taught for thousands of years, and this is simple poetry, but it's really profound. And this is the importance of Aqidah, that even though it is complex, Allah made it something that we are able to digest because it's the most important science. And so once you got this down pat, you know, and this is why this is the science that you can't blind follow anybody in. You have to know this for yourself. If you follow the school of fiqh, if a sheikh that follows the school and they give you a ruling, you don't have to investigate that. This is something that's been codified, passed down. If the sheikh gives you the ruling, you can run with that. You don't have to find nothing else. If you have a spiritual teacher who is, not a charlatan, and they're teaching you the science of tasawwuf, what the practices that they're giving you, you can run with that. You don't have to know that for yourself. But in Aqidah, you have to know this for yourself and know why that you know it. And so it's all replete with proofs and evidences. We haven't done a lot of proofs and evidences because at the beginning, just like when you enter into Islam, nobody brings you to Islam by opening up the Quran and tell you, reading the Quran, because that's not how it's done. So you extract the meanings and you give it to people when you give them the Shahada. So, and all of these can be backed up with proofs, and that's some of the things that you get to in the next stage. Because, proofs are really for people who do like scholarly work. Someone told us that as laymen, we don't even have these principles down, and we have the audacity to ask somebody, what's your proof? And like one teacher said, the fact that you have to ask proof is an indication of your ignorance. So you basically should just shut up and listen to the people that teach you. And then if something that doesn't make sense, of course, to ask. You ask a question, but you don't like question somebody's credibility. The teachers, the reason why, there's a reason why that person is the teacher and you're not. It's the same way we go to a doctor. We don't ask the doctor the proof of why they, there's a trust there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That
So,
makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
but the Aqidah is already formatted, so it's going to make sense to you. You don't even have to ask for proof because all of this appeals to the logical mind. Allah exists and non-existence is impossible for him. You don't even really need no proof to really to fathom that. But if you need proof, there's plenty in the Quran and Sunnah. There's plenty. So
Yeah, like learning it, it feels like it's like something that you already supposed to just know. Like it's something
well,
in you
we already embedded
yeah.
the ability to learn it. So And so again, I'm taking my time with it. Of course, we can go through the book and read it, but I want you all to get this down, inshallah ta'ala. So next week we'll do the 50 attributes in detail. Then we'll go over some stuff for the test, and then the week after that we'll do the test. And then I think if we haven't, I gotta look at the dates, but the week after we have, we're looking at starting Ramadan March 11th, I think, right?
Yeah, it starts March
Yeah.
11th.
So next Sunday is the 3rd, and then the Sunday after that is the 10th. Right? Is that right?
No, I think we got one more
No,
week in
no.
February.
Okay, so next week is the 24th, right? No, 25th.
Hold on. Yeah, next week Sunday the 25th, and then
Yeah,
we
it'll be
got
the
the 3rd,
25th, and then we
and
got
then we got
what's the Friday after? I mean, the Sunday after that.
after the 3rd.
Oh yeah, that's the 3rd,
It's the
and
25th,
then
the
it's the
3rd.
10th. So we got
Yeah.
those 2 weeks. So yeah, we'll have another review, take the test, and then go over the test, and then that Monday will be Ramadan will start, inshallah. You had a question, sis?
How long will the test be?
As long as it take y'all to, as long as it take y'all to be acting like y'all don't know what y'all doing. No, I'm just joking, but no, the test won't be. I'll probably do maybe 30 questions.
Okay. So it's gonna be over the attributes, not anything that
No,
was
just the
before that.
attributes. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Now, when we go back, because we're gonna do another review when we come back, and then before we go, but we'll go through everything you need to know on the test. But right now, I really want you to get these attributes down.
Okay.
All right. So the test will probably be like 30 questions. Some of them might be fill in the blank, a couple mix and match, multiple choice like that.
And what's the passing grade?
Same way in school.
So if I get a 75%, I'm okay.
Yeah, it's passing, but it's like, okay, you need to go back to I don't know about where they call it, the trailers, the annex building.
Right. I remember those buildings.
Go ahead, somebody else has something? Yeah, but I promise you it won't be nothing that we didn't go over. Yeah, you'll be like, because I know how test time, and you'd be anxious, and like, oh man, but it won't be anything too difficult.
Bonus question for extra credit or something like that to help
Yeah,
our grade.
something might show up like that.
Okay, inshallah.
That was my next question. Hey, can we get
Look,
a
sis. I'm trying to get all the points I can get right
Okay.
right?
Okay, alhamdulillah. But yeah, it'll be so next week we'll cover that, then we'll do the test, and then we'll have a week to review the test. And more than likely, we probably have to resume after Ramadan because I'm going to be like super busy. And I'm sure you all will be as well. But for me, it's like I got a lot of stuff to do.
We understand Ramadan is a busy time. Plus, it'll give us more time to, if we don't do so well on the test, inshallah, everybody aces it. But we can review that while in addition to our other things we have going on as well. So,
No, inshallah.
alhamdulillah.
Okay, so if there's no other questions, well, we're in there, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka anta sami'ul alim. Al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair.
Walaikum salam.